Hey guys, how's it going? So, just a quick one. I've recently finished watching an anime called Platinum End. Now, if you were to tell me that there was an anime out there that was about a group of people that are chosen by angels to fight to the death in a battle royale style like scenario to decide who the next god of this world is going to be, I would think that sounds pretty damn sick. But Platinum End somehow takes that concept and comes out with the most boring, uninteresting story I think I have ever sat through. I watched all 25 episodes every week that it was coming out, and my god, I hated it so much. But you may be asking, okay, why did you watch it? This show was made by the same two people that worked on the original Death Note manga. So the artist and the author, and the person that wrote the story, both worked on Platinum End. So as soon as I seen that, Death Note being one of my all-time favourite anime, I was very, very intrigued, and that is purely the only reason I watched it every week, because I was hoping that at some point it was going to get interesting, or there was going to be some interesting reveal, or the ending was going to be good. But none of those things happened, and there's going to be quite a few spoilers in this video as I discuss it. And if you disagree with me, fair enough, that's fine, but I absolutely hated this show so much. It was unreal. The main character, Mirai, is so boring. He starts off just being so miserable and then tries to kill himself and is saved by an angel called Nas, or Nasi. Then he is chosen and she gives him a red arrow and wings. And that was the other thing as well. If you were to tell me that like these angels are able to give people like red arrows that can control people for 33 days, white arrows that kill people instantly, and wings that help you fly around at the speed of light, that's also really cool. But everything is so super lame in this, and I don't get how they could take such an interesting concept with such interesting ideas and then just fall flat every time something interesting happens. Yeah, so I think it's either 12 or 13 people are chosen by all these different angels, and they're like people that want to die, and it's like them then realizing how they would change the world if they became the next god. Again, cool. Yeah, we're introduced to a guy called Metropoliman, who makes himself out to be a superhero. The arrows and the wings can't be seen by anyone else that isn't a candidate, so that's a cool thing to do. Make it look like he can fly around, instantly save people from, like, I think it was a bank robbery and that, but then uses this whole, like, presence on the media to try and get the other candidates around to try and kill them, because the last one standing becomes God. Duh. He's an interesting villain. He does some really messed up stuff, and I do feel like the show sometimes does try and go for, like, really over-the-top graphic moments when it's unnecessary. Like, the guy's trying to make himself look like a superhero, but then he's forcing someone to fly away really, really aggressively whilst handcuffed to a girl that's handcuffed to a railing. It's, like, really uncomfortable at times, and it's just, like, really, like I said, unnecessary for how it tries to approach certain themes. Metropoliman was also interesting because his backstory was quite cool. Obviously everyone has a reason that they want to become God. His was to bring his sister back to life. When you realise like he is the reason she died, you start feeling a little bit like, oh, sorry for him. And but the show has a habit of making really, really stupid leaps within the story. Metropoliman has got so many. You can collect items from people as you have killed candidates. So if they have red arrows, white arrows, wings, you can keep them for yourself. And then if you control someone with a red arrow, you can then pass them on. So Metropoliman decides to acquire like a mini army, well, some people, some lackeys to come and help him and confront the main cast, who is Mirai, the main person I have mentioned already. A girl that was friends with Mirai and feels guilty for bullying him with all the other kids, you know, your typical high school, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be that way. And then you got this dude, I can't remember his name, but like he was into like costume design or something, and because of that he's able to acquire like army level armor. Yeah. It's so they take up these suits and disguises and try and take on Metropoliman. They have to stop him because they can't decide. They're the good guys, so they can't decide on like killing each other and stuff and blah 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 blah. And they do try and do all these clever things by controlling each other with the red arrows, knowing full well that they're not going to like abuse how it works with each other and that. Random characters come out of nowhere that are apparently a candidate that have like a big deal but really not had much time to establish them. There's a guy who was really ugly and then became an candidate and then used his arrows to get surgery, and then all of a sudden his life's a lot better. And he uses a sword for some reason. Yeah. Metropolitan Man had some interesting characters that came out of nowhere as well. Like, there's a moment in Theme Park where there's the showdown, but then one of the people that he's controlling is a mad scientist that has a virus that can instantly kill everyone in the city near to them unless the main character surrenders. And it's like, what? What? It's absolutely insane the amount of leaps and jumps that this takes. And then they try and do clever things. Like, he stops the disease by using a white arrow on it before it's released. And it's like, oh my god, that's so clever. And it's like, okay. Like, ass pull out of ass pull after ass pull with this show. And Metropolitan, like I said, was an interesting character. But this show seems to really make it up as it goes along. When they finally defeat Metropolitan halfway through the show, this is a 24 episode show, by the way, so I think it's not even halfway, it is revealed that he was being controlled by another candidate, dun dun dun, but not the whole time though, only like partway through, who was a kid wearing a Donald Trump mask that was making it out like he was with Metropolitan. And he, just flies off, and you think, oh, we got carrying on here, villain. No, wants to be good guy, wants to get everyone together and have a civilized conversation, which makes me wonder why he was even with Metropolitan for the fight. Like, there was no need at all. Then everyone's trying to get together to resolve on who is going to be the next God candidate. We're introduced to the kid, like I said, who goes to the news and explains everything. He tells everyone the rules. He goes on about how they have wings and the arrows, they control people, talk to the news, and because of that, then the government want to get involved, and they're like, wow, these could be used as like weapons. We can weaponize these people and use them against other countries, which isn't really touched upon in like a couple of episodes, like worrying about that. And then we are introduced to the mad scientist of the show. Who just comes out of nowhere for like the last quarter of the show. He's the smartest man in the world. He's a God candidate, and he doesn't believe that God is real. I just, every time I thought something interesting was happening, they just like tuck it away. I've not wrote a script for this. I'm literally just spitballing here and just going to throw clips in to just go along with everything I've been saying. But yeah, the concept that this guy comes up with is that God isn't real, and that it's a creature that was created from people's imagination. And as time's gone on, and less people believe in God, it's become weaker and weaker. And so this is its like thing where it's like, right, let's send these angels out to the people on the world, blah, blah, blah. It's going to change everyone's like perspective, and then people are going to start believing again. And it's like, what? What? You have moments with this guy who he's pretty brutal at some points. Like I said, for instance, the army are trying to weaponize these God candidates, and the kid gets shot by a sniper. And then as he's dying, the doctor just takes him and just goes, white arrow, kills him, takes all his stuff, dumps him off. He's like, cool. And I was like, that's brutal, but like, they don't happen very often. The most interesting brutal moments don't happen. Every episode has a really bad habit of like ending on a cliffhanger, and then that cliffhanger not paying off whatsoever in the next episode. I remember one of the very early episodes, Mirai was walking to school, and he sees an angel, and he's like, right, okay, I just need to make sure that this angel don't see me, so he doesn't know I'm a candidate. And then the episode ends with the angel just flying in his face, and he obviously sees him, and it's like, oh, he knows. And then the next episode, it's the girl's angel, and they want to work together. It's like, oh, cool, how anticlimactic. And every episode, nearly every episode, ends on a massive cliffhanger. Like, annoyingly, there was one where Mirai decides to take a white arrow to the chest, very much like a arrow to the knee, to save the girl. He's in a hostage situation where you got the doctor like pointing an arrow at him, and then she's been captured by this kid that wants to kill himself. Oh my god, it would take me like half an hour, 45 minutes to explain everything that's going on in this. But Yeah, and then that episode ends with the white arrow about to hit him, and it's like, oh my god. But then I was just so used to the formula, it's like, that's not going to happen in the next episode at all. And yeah, lo and behold, that just doesn't happen. And yeah, interesting things with Nass, because the angels aren't able to interact with each other, but they keep playing on the fact that Nass can actually interact with Mirai, and she's the only one, so she's special. She's special, and I'll get onto that in a minute, because again, interesting concept that just falls flat on its face. Eventually they decide on a god candidate. It's not the main character. There's this random kid that wants to, like, was like all about suicide and stuff, and he's like, oh, I need to normalize it and help people, and it's really weird as well. I'm not one to go on to moral dilemmas and stuff, but it tried to push really heavily, to the point where there was like a warning thing at the beginning saying it was full of mature discussions and things. I'm just gonna get into the ending. Like, it's winding me up just talking about this this show. But at the end, they all decide, right, because they don't have to kill each other. Apparently, they can just choose who the god candidate's going to be, and that's it. They choose this kid, and he's a big fan of the scientist, and he lets the guy and the girl remember everything that's happened. He lets the scientist remember everything, and then removes all memory of everything ever happening with all this stuff to everyone else on the world. He then goes up to heaven with the angels to merge with the creature, which is God. It starts taking over his body. He's in a place where time moves slower or quicker. I can't remember. Not really fast. Doesn't make a difference. And he's observing the world and everything, and trying to like figure everything out. The Doctor's messing around with the red arrow, trying to figure it out. And then they talk about Nass and how he's like, why was Nass able to touch all the other like people but like no other angel could? And God's talking to the kid, and he's like, well, Nass was something that tried to like get within my being when I was born, and I removed her straight away, so she might have like part of my my being within her, which is why she was able to interact with humans. And it's like, okay, this is the last episode here. Where are they going with this? That's dead interesting. What's next? You've got Mirai and the girl, they're happy now, they've opened a flower shop, the scientist is doing his experiments, the world's just getting on with everything, and then the kid just decides to kill himself as God. And then all the angels disappear, and then slowly everyone on the planet disappears, and then it ends. It was a show about people chosen to fight to the death in a battle royale scenario to see who's going to be God next, and they end it by everyone in existence just wound me up to something else. Like, this is the same person that made Death Note, and I love Death Note so much, and Platinum End, I watched every single episode every week, and I'm trying to tell you guys just to not watch it. Yeah. The animation was great, voice acting was great, the opening theme song slapped. I think that's one of the main things that got me in. It's like, it hypes you up, and then like, okay, and you still got that hype for a bit. The cliffhangery endings, the fact that it was the guy that did Death Note. I watched it every week just hoping it was going to end in a really decent way, and it left me greatly disappointed. So yeah, something a bit different. If you don't like it, let me know. If you like it, let me know. If you want me to just like talk about a specific show like this in the future, as I'm starting to get more stuff in and work on my editing, and that June, July onwards is going to be great. I'll have a whole new setup. So yeah, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, a link is in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all that helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for that. And thank you all for watching. What did you guys think of Platinum End if you watched it? Like, let me know in the comments down below. I really am intrigued if people did like it. And does the manga end the same? If you've read the manga, does it end? I haven't actually looked into that. That'd be an interesting one. And yeah, click that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.